This week was full of like just crazy, mind-boggling drill intercepts. And one of the drill intercepts that came this week, in fact, this was probably the biggest drill intercept. Well, I think it's definitely the biggest drill intercept this week, but it could be the biggest in a month even or so. This comes out of Nevada King at Atlanta, their Atlanta project, and they hit a whopping 11.64 gram per ton gold over 108.3 meters. A phenomenal drill hole. Okay, but let's put it in context. Let's talk about this a little bit. Let's go to the next slide. Over here on the left, you can see where that drill hole is. I put a big red arrow, so it points to it. Notice that it's to the upper, like to the northwest of the pit. It's outside of the pit. It's towards the upper left of the drill array they have around the old pit. You can see over here in cross-section where it sits with respect to other drill holes. Yes, there are other drill holes to the east and the west. And, you might say, well, gee, why would you get such a high grade here in the middle of other intercepts, which are more like 1 or 2 grams? Well, it all has to do with the type of system this is. Okay, this is, look, I've talked to many people working there, Lou Teal and other friends of mine who've been working there for months and months now. They tell me it is an epithermal system, a la, something like a round mountain type system, but it invades, largely invades the sedimentary rocks. It's not necessarily hosted by volcanic per se, so much as it is sedimentary rocks, but it's fed by certain structures. Okay, so why would this be so high grade? Well, let's go to the next slide. It's because they actually hit a feeder type structure in here, and this is remarkable. Okay, so they basically have tagged a place where the ore forming fluids came up and spread out and fed the the more blanket like mineralization you see in the other shades here, the yellow dashed line and so forth. So you would expect to find high grade zones along these structures, these feeder structures within the system. And given how they're drilling this thing more or less in a systematic way, it's only going to be every so often they tag one of these things, but they've actually hit a couple high grade zones to date. I talked about some high grade back in March, but this is another one. Okay, this is another high grade zone. In fact, it's probably the best one they've hit so far. Not the best, it is the best. Okay, now why is it so important? Well, a little volume of super high grade rock can improve your deposit dramatically. Okay, if you think about it, like this thing is an order of magnitude higher grade than everything else that they've announced so far. Most of the intercepts have been 1, 2, 3 gram per ton. This thing's nearly 12 grams per ton. Okay, what does that mean? Well, it means that this high grade core, this high grade structural corridor, once it's factored into the resource model, can add a tremendous amount of ounces and improve the overall grade. Okay, you start throwing some 12 gram material in there, and next thing you know, all of that 1.5 gram material around it, the resulting global grade kind of comes up dramatically. And in fact, it can double very quickly with hits like this. Okay, so this is a meaningful drill intercept. Now that they know where it is, I think they'll be able to target further along strike, maybe to the north and south, and expand this high grade zone. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more drill intercepts along this. Okay, this is a really good outcome. Same thing happened at Round Mountain, by the way. In fact, Round Mountain, which is a mine that operated for decades. Okay, it's been operating since the 1980s. They hit, and I'm not kidding you, like it was a 1 gram ore body for years and years and years. But in the early 1990s, they hit a high grade feeder unexpectedly. They hadn't really recognized it in drilling, but they hit the thing, and they were literally going out there and finding chunks of visible gold on the benches after they drilled and blasted that area. And they're like, holy cow, there's a high grade system here. And that thing just blossomed. I mean, the ounces that came out of that mine were incredible. Maybe something like that is happening here. All right, let's go to the next slide. Just to prove the point a little bit more, here's the assays. They're taking on, you say, why are they 1.5 meter? It's because when they're drilling this, they're doing actually 5 foot increments. So that's about 1.5 meters. So that's how that comes. All right, so you can see the assays, continuous run of assays here. look at in the middle there. There's some really amazing numbers: 169 gram, 155 gram, and then I notice the silver over here is a fair bit lower. So it seems that the silver is not so high in this core area. The silver is more, the higher grade silver they've hit is more on the periphery. So there's a zonation here for sure. But the recoveries in this stuff, the AUCN, that is the gold grade from cyanide digestion. Okay, so they actually can assay gold using cyanide. And the key takeaway there is this is oxidized or cyanide soluble gold. That's very, very good. Very good outcome. So it's great grade. It's great metallurgy. It's low in silver, which actually is going to help them when they go to recover the gold here, because silver likes to compete for cyanide. Anyway, this is just a phenomenal outcome, and I hope they hit lots and lots more.